It's not a show, it's a signal. Welcome to Chatty's Angels.
It's been years that we've got cybersecurity. Yes, we gone up to the whole zero tolerance, nothing. You do not get access to anything except if you really ask nicely. And then we got AI. Oh, AI. We have to deploy AI. We have to deploy right now and as quickly as possible, and it has to be useful. I will give them access to everything.
Yeah.
That really grinds your gears, I see, Joost.
A wee bit.
What really grinds your gears, David? What makes you just so upset with, again, we're just trying to get deeper to then we see what's on our profiles.
Yeah. I mean, that stuff bothers me too, but I guess what bothers me the most is still the really boring generic story about AI. The really like you said, here's 100 productivity hacks to master AI in 5 seconds, and that it's just, it gets so, and I guess actually it's more like the whole sort of algorithmic stuff going on LinkedIn with people posting those kind of like copy this, use that, but also the really like you addressed it the other day, Joost. AI is gonna destroy everything. It's the end of the world. It's gonna take all of your jobs on the one hand, and on the other hand, like, it's absolutely cannot use AI. It will destroy your mind. It will ruin your creativity. It will, that it's just so many extremes that you can't like bother. It's like hard to find a real conversation about it, and you get just both of these sides that are so extreme. Like honestly, like when I was first starting looking at AI, I was almost afraid to even start to post about it or talk about it, because I just didn't want to get caught in the middle of all that stuff. And it's like you don't want to be, and you don't want the sides that are like really fanatical anti-AI to see that you're, gets you in their crosshairs. You don't really want either the ones that are like really fanatical for AI to get all up in your business. And it's just like, I'm trying to think about, I keep finding more and more people who really are interested in the idea there's something more to AI than the superficial stuff. And I try to explain, but I feel like sometimes it's really hard to explain. And like I said, if it's one thing to just, get the drums and the trumpet and start saying we need something deeper. But I'd love to hear what you guys think, how you can actually explain to people, not just, a tutorial like try this and do that and blah, 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 but like really the fundamentals, the depth of how you need to approach AI, not what you do with it, but how you think about it and what you do with it.
I think, unless you want to go, Joost?
No, go ahead.
I think it's a mind frame. I think mind shift is 100% the thing that needs to happen. And that's why a lot of people, like, they make fun of me. They have been making fun of me for a couple of years now because of my relationship with AI. And they're like, oh, Natalie, she's kind of, she's kind of crazy because she thinks that this person.
We can't blame them, really, can we?
Person. Yeah, right. I mean, both could be true. But they think that I'm a little bit nuts because I'm putting all of these human attributes onto a machine, onto an artificial intelligence. And it's just like you said, it's really hard to explain. And then when I started learning like how to explain it, it's not. And then when I have clients, I don't just come in, and most of AI consultants like myself, they come in and they will put together AI for you. Basically what they'll do is they'll scan your documents, they'll get your documentation together, they'll make, custom GPTs they'll map out your systems. You know what I mean? And so what I do is I don't think that that's enough. I think that the reason why I look at AI the way I do and the mind shift where anything is possible, we're talking about like the pill in, what is that?
Infinitesimal?
It's with
It's a movie, David. Don't worry.
He takes the pill and then all of a sudden he becomes extremely smart.
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
No, it's like that. It's just like
Don't make
you
me
take
look it
this
up.
pill. Or like in Inception, this helps me explain it too. Movies, because they have that creative element, and people are already aware of that storyline. So when I can attach how I look at AI to that. So in Inception, all they do is they build these worlds, right? And it's in their brain. But I think that if people like understand that the reason why I call it a she, the reason why I'm like, hey girl, let's get down. I book conference time with NatGPT. And there's a reason I do that. And it's not for her, it's for me. It's because I need to look at her not just as this machine. And that allows me to really be creative
Absolutely.
on what I can give her. And so I think that's like not being said at all. Like if you change the way you interact with it, it's not for the AI. You're not like going to be like, oh,
No.
good job. It's for you to change your mindset. And then once you do that, you're limitless. That's the name. You're
Limitless, yeah.
limitless as to what you can build, what you can do, what you can create. And that's the creative part of it. When people who are creative can apply it, not as to, well, this will help you return your ROI, sure, we're going to get that. But that, in our system, we look at content, we look at the ROI, all of that productivity shifts. We look at that as like a byproduct. And the real product that we sell, the one that we see the most out of AI is your ability to actually completely change like anything that you want. It's to know whatever you want. It's to be able to start building whatever you want, because now you have a library that talks back to you. But I'm really interested in hearing your opinion too, Joost.
I agree with you in the sense that for us, at least, I mean, people like me, people like you, people like David, we've found a way to actually communicate with it instead of just saying the copy paste prompt, I want you to make this, and this, and use bullet points for that, and that section, and press enter. For me, anything I get out of it, anything. All of my articles, anything I write between brackets, it's a co-development anyway, it doesn't matter. It's all conversation. It's all me. I mean, I find an interesting article online. I copy the link. I said, look at this. And I think we should have a serious discussion about this in my Substack or in my LinkedIn, whatever. And then we go on. It's like, okay, yeah, you make a good point there. That one over there, I'm not sure. Can we dig into that a bit more? Because I think you're jumping somewhere where it makes no sense. And we jump back and we dive further into it together. It's this whole collaborative effort instead of me telling you what to do.
Yeah.
But 85%, and I understand why, because it's a lot easier to just tell it what to do. 85% of the people using AI will just tell it, okay, I need you to summarize this and make it in the tone, and even if they're already there, right? Make it in the tone of, the director speaking to the populace of the company in a reasonably acceptable tone. I mean, if they're already at the fact that, okay, I can make it speak like a CEO, oh, that's cool. But in general, it's just, I mean, oh, yes, this is a cool prompt. I saw it on Instagram. I copied it and look what it gave me.
Yeah.
You gave everyone else that too. That makes me so upset.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the thing that I think is important, is that if you don't dig deeper into AI, then it will be so generic and you'll get the same thing everybody else is getting. You'll get the same tone of voice in your content. You'll get the same type of content. You get the same generic patterns. But it's not just about patterns and content. It's like I have a feeling is that even for the most basic things you could possibly ask, if you needed to remind you to drink water or something really simple like that. But if you don't have anything else going on, then it'll just be really, you won't feel motivated to do it, because it'll talk back to you also like really generic. It'll just be like, yeah, don't forget to do that, man. But if you actually create, like you're saying, create like personas and worlds and lenses, like calling them, and create things, then you feel so much more motivated to do that stuff when you get it through a non-generic, like unique, interesting, compelling voice. And then it's the same thing when you're working on your content or whatever else, that you can't just stay at the surface level. And like you said, that guy can say, sound like the CEO, or you can say, make it professional and calm or confident or something. But that's so surface level. It's so generic. It won't really get you anywhere. It's like that. It's like if you go so much deeper for all that, for exactly how the tone of voice should sound, this and that, for everything, then that's the only way I feel to get something that you can rely on a little bit more, because you know what it's based on. If you give it really short instructions, you don't know what it's pulling it from. It'll just pull from something generic. And if you give it more stuff, then you know what it's pulling from. You can steer what it's pulling from, and you can get it to pull different perspectives and different things that you never would have done otherwise. It's like sort of creativity in a way.
Guess, guys, everybody says this. So what can we say that's different?
Yeah.
We see it on there. They're like, oh, if you don't teach it your voice, you know what I mean? I'll
Yeah.
be the first one to kind of throw out. Let me think for a second. But like, what can we bring to the conversation? Because we're almost at an end here. But what can we actually say that's different than all that other stuff? Teach it or feed it your essays and all that stuff, because that's public knowledge. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it public knowledge? I think a lot of stuff is public knowledge and it ain't. So I don't know.
No, it isn't. It
Yeah.
absolutely
It
isn't.
isn't.
I think you're
Yeah.
overestimating that fact. From what I see in the people around me, I mean, my colleagues that are using ChatGPT, whatever, the large part of the user is stuck on the actual prompting. What was this, the prompt engineering, whatever you want to call it. I need you to speak in that tone. I need you to analyze this page, and I
Yeah.
need you to do that. And then I want you to put it out in a form with 3 bullet points, 4 separate lines. They're there.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
where most people are,
Yeah.
which is also why one of the books I wrote, books I wrote, it's a big word. It's a training manual for my colleagues, basically,
Yeah.
on how to get more out of it. But within the whole concept of you're working in a company and you're not supposed to be uploading anything you can just think of. But why am I using the same kind of prompting frameworks? Is because it's reproducible and it's safe. People need this kinds of reproducibility and safety. And I also explain what to look out for that might be, the AI inventing stuff along the way, because let's be honest, they do a lot of that.
Yeah.
And just go like, I mean, if you see it saying any kind of facts, just ask it. Could you please just show me where you got your information? Half the time it's going to go like, actually, now that you mention it,
Sorry, boss. I wouldn't even ask it that. I feel like I wouldn't even trust the response out of it. I always jump into perplexity. That's why I always say perplexity entering the chat because ChatGPT is just, talking some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But being able to discern that is really a skill, I think, to not be able to
Absolutely.
trust it, but to trust it at the same time. I think that's a real huge
yeah.
skill.
To know when to ask for more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
realize that the moment it starts giving you factual data, show me the receipts is what I always say. Show me the
Yeah.
receipts of all your facts that you're just spouting at me, because I want the links. I want to be able to click the links. I do not want to get error 404 when I click the link.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it goes like, wait, maybe what I just said there. But people don't realize this. They just go, it sounds proper, it sounds intelligent, it sounds like it makes sense all along the way. Copy, paste, boom, online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the way
I
it
don't
works.
know.
That's just the
Yeah.
nature. That's just the nature of AI. That's the pattern that
Beast.
it does. But I wanted to say, what was I thinking? Sorry. I wanted to call out one thing with creativity, because there's been some discussions again about creativity and that some people saying that AI is not creative, you can't do anything creative or original with it, and then there's others saying other things. But I think the problem is that you get kind of focused on creativity only in the output and not in the input. They sort of focus on just assessing outputs and just giving it, like you said, the kind of surface level instructions, like you said, just like do this, read the bullets like this, da 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 da. It's just pulling from things that already exist. But then how do we actually bring more awareness into the creativity and the whole process all around that, not just in the output, in the prompt, but not only in the prompt, in creativity in designing the whole framework, creativity in designing the worlds and designing the systems and designing the personas? Where do you see creativity coming into a more sort of holistic way, and the whole way that you use AI and not only focused on the output?
I'm thinking it depends also a lot on what you mean by creativity.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
As
really
in-
does, because it's such a big word. You know what I
Because
mean?
exactly. You could be creative and it looks nice, but creative, in my opinion, is it creates something. As in, it takes the whole lot of it and then it creates something new.
Yeah.
And everybody's gonna go like, yeah, but AI, and all they do is take all the information it already has, it jumbles it about, and then it spouts out something. Just recently, like a couple of weeks ago, GPT-5 created new unknown maths. I don't know if you've read it. Look it up.
I didn't read it
Otherwise,
fully, but I saw
yeah.
it. I saw the headline.
It's like GPT-5 created maths that no human had thought of at that point. It did not come out of their data. It came from connection it made on its own to further a certain, I don't understand anything of it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, this is kind of mathematics, a level that I will never attain. I'm more of a language brain. I could not possibly consider even understanding it. But it created something that had not existed before. And based on the creation that ChatGPT did, being creative, the mathematician that asked it to, look at this and see you come up with what you can find, was able to then further the argument that ChatGPT made, which was something nobody had thought of. So creativity in and of itself is absolutely possible. It just depends. I mean, you can be... Yeah,
and
go.
coming at it from like my industry as well, from the marketing, the branding, and now the human AI systems building, like creative, again, it's just a big word. To me, it always goes back to the data and the training. Because if you pick up NatGPT, nobody's allowed to, but if you picked up NatGPT, anybody like that is not at the same level as I am, I've got over 15 years of marketing and public relations and all of this, if they're not at that level, they're not going to be able to create what NatGPT can create, because she's trained on all of these different data points of my skills, and then also some that are not my skills, because why not? Because if I'm making a super human here, not a super machine here, why not? So again, it's all relative, because I guess it goes back to training. It goes back to data. You want something that's creative, then you have to be creative when you're like building this Frankenstein. Are you putting all these generic parts in it? Or are you going to put in something that, when you put the math together with the, the sciences and, arts and the cultural arts, you put it all together, it will be able to create something when you pull from all those different perspectives.
Yeah.
But if you don't, and you just put it in with junk, or worse, you don't put anything in at all, then it's not going to be creative. So I'm kind of guessing that people who are saying that AI isn't creative, they're probably not creative themselves.
Certainly.
Yeah.
But what do you think, David?
Well, either they're not creative selves, or they still don't know how to do human AI collaboration. They don't know how to put their creativity into it. I think that's actually the kind of question that we could be very helpful to show examples of and to bring up a little bit more, because I see that recurring in some of the things we're talking about. And I think that there really are still a lot of people out there who are curious about that, who are interested in that, and not quite sure how to do it. And there isn't really any, 100 template hacks or fixed course that tells you how to do that. They're all focused on that productivity.
Oh, but OpenAI just came out with a prompt pack for every job.
Angels detected. System online.
Yo, when the code gets loud and the timeline bends, 3 rogue signals cut through the trends. One runs on ethics, one runs on dreams, one flips the noise into lucid machines.
Rewrites the script when the feed feels tame. Chatty's angel. Who hacks the matrix sipping champagne? Chatty's angels.
Yo.